Oh, I'm calling on you, Jesus, 'cause only you can make a way, make a way, make a way. Oh, I need Lord, I need you. Lord, me. It's all I seem to do is hurt me. Jesus, hurt me. Oh, Lord, oh, deliver me. 'Cause all I seem to do is hurt me, Lord, hurt Jesus, to deliver me, God. I need you.
We thanking God for everything. We do some technical support. We're thanking God for all things. The reason why I chose that particular song for this particular Lent season is because understanding the rise of the African. The rise of the African has to be an exodus from your old self to a new self. The rise of the African has to be you leaving ways that don't help us as a people or don't even help you in terms of you accessing your own dreams. You got to walk away from everything that is not of God, that does not serve your visions of who you know you are called to be. You just got to be able to walk away. And you got to claim your exodus from yourself, from what the world created you to be, to become the person that God called you. This is the rise of the African here at Alkebulan Inspirational Sunday. And we are glad to have you here with us this morning. And so, every time I hear that song, I get that feeling. And I don't know about y'all, but I get that feeling. That's why I can play it every week because I understand the journey that you go through when you're trying to find your best self. And it's not your best self for the sake of you. It's your best self for the sake of releasing the talents and the gifts and everything that God placed in you so that you could leave a mark on this world. Because that's why you're here. Everybody comes with a particular purpose, with gifts and talents that we're supposed to leave here with. And that song says it for me. This is my exodus. I'm letting it all go. Well, I'm doing my best at the moment that I'm in. I'm in my sasa. If y'all was an African history class, African spirituality class, the sasa. I'm letting it all go at this moment. I'm not waiting for tomorrow. You know what I mean? I'm not waiting 2 weeks from now. I'm not waiting for Resurrection Sunday. I'm trying to get resurrected right now. But if I don't get right now, I'm gonna resurrect a new me, a deeper African, a deeper person connected to the Creator, to my ancestors, to the universe. I'm gonna access that person or resurrect something that the world killed. Woo! Because at birth, yeah, I was all God's. In that spiritual form, I was all God's. But when we got here, they didn't put us in an atmosphere that made it conducive for us to saying the spiritual beings that God had called us to be. So that's why we all have a purpose to help this world get healed. So it's in line, in harmony with nature, in harmony with the universe, in harmony with God, the Creator. So with that, I say amen and ashe. Welcome to Alkebulan Inspirational Sunday. To let everybody know why you're looking and watching and enjoying this particular service, we ask you that if you're watching us via YouTube, click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you can hear every time we go live. You're there. Uh, and you'll get notified. And if you're watching us on Facebook, help us build the algorithm so that we can reach out to a greater Pan African community in the African diaspora. So like, comment, and share so that we can take all the programs that we have up out into the community and build a greater Pan-African community. We plant a better seed to get a better harvest here at the World of Akibaland. So we have Sunday service, which is a Akibaland Inspirational Sunday. We're here right now. We have on Tuesday nights, we have the African Speaks. On Thursday night, we have AfriStream. Saturday at 1, we have African History class. Saturday at 2, we have Understanding African Spirituality. We also are developing, if you missed a special that the African Speak did this Friday, we have a new show that we're working on within the community. Our collaborations is called All Black Everything. Our collaborations with the community, other voices. One, I am not the only African. I had put that on my when I was working on my exodus to a broken self, walking into who God called me to be. I had to put that tag on it, IJ the African, because it's always a reminder of where I'm going, not where I'm at. And that's the most of the thing. Most people are comfortable in where they are, and so they sit there. There's no fight. There's no struggle. There's no turmoil. There's no. I can't do that. I seen that life before, and it didn't bring out the best in me. So I live in my exodus, and so we're reaching out to the community and open up community voices, and this is why we have what we have in terms of our must-see live streams. Yes, because there's some dialogue for you, and as we continue, we'll continue to grow. And we're working on we're one step closer to starting our in-house back gathering, social gatherings. We're working on it. COVID is slowly quieting down, and people, fears of individuals are slowly subsiding. And not only that, people being able to take care of themselves even more. Having those practices that cleanse your respiratory system and your body, and making sure that you treating your body as though it's your temple. It's there. So we want everybody to know that as we begin, everything that we do is because we share a sacred covenant with those who have gone before, and though we'll come after them, we also have a covenant promise from God. Everything we do is based off of this covenant promise. There is nothing that disconnects us from what God has called us to be and do when He says, I will be your God and you will be my people. Well, we seek to be the people of God yet again. If you be part of African history class on Saturdays, you'll see how much we were able to bless the world when we are in harmony, when we was in harmony with the Creator, and what we can do in our future. Afrofuturism, we discussed that during our the African speaks. And so everything is truly and solely based on relationships. Our relationship with the Creator, our relationship with our ancestors, our relationship with each other, our relationship with nature. Mm. Everything is based off of, and without these relationships, we cannot grow. And so we seek a continuity of things. We're never l- dealing with our time on this planet without feeling connected, right? Continuity, a connected period of time. This is one lifetime of humanity, not just you. You are part of one lifetime of a total distance of humanity. That's your Zamani. We are definitely connected to the Zamani, African spirituality class. That is the past of all things. The Sasa is the now of all things. We are always connected. And so we want to make sure that we stay connected. So this we're in the season now of Lent, that 40-day journey, and we have 2 more weeks before Resurrection Sunday. And I'm hoping you're finding that space where you're accessing your exodus. And if you're in your exodus, you might be going through some turmoil. It's a journey. Lent is that 40 days before Easter, where we do what they call spring cleaning. We introspect. We're looking at ourselves because we're going to try to move things out the way so that our journey with the Creator, our journey with our ancestors, our journey in our culture is even more profound. In every step we take, the weight of our steps increase because of our understanding. Meaning that we are more purposeful in our movements, more purposeful in our conversations, more purposeful in our actions. Lent is that season where we seek to unlock the things that are in us, that God placed in us upon our creation, where we experience the fullest I am. And whatever you say after that, most powerful words in the dictionary, in the English language or any language, I am. And after that, when you say I am, you enter into a God experience where you begin to speak as though things that may not be are, and to speak the things that are, speak more and more in power. I am. And so during this season, we was talking about the strategies of increasing your journey, the strategies of having a more powerful and more strengthened journey. And that was one of the um Lenten sermons. And we said we had to put God first. We said we had to visualize who we are, the greatness of who we are. We said that we had to make a plan, right? Going into Lent, going into that season of self reflection, you got to make a plan and a process to do something on a daily basis. If you're expecting to have an Exodus experience where you feel like you're resurrecting something in you that's special. We said we're going to learn from our mistakes. Another strategy. Things may not go right. You might fall out on the wayside. I said I was going to be vegan, and I sat down and I didn't eat, and I couldn't finish the vegan. I had meat yesterday. I wasn't eating right, and I had to fulfill my vitamin intake, and I had to request something different for myself, and I just ate. It wasn't just me. I just ate. I couldn't get to the vegan shop. And so learn from your, I said, I'm up. We got to make a new plan, right? And so that's what you do. And sometimes you got to take risk. And I took a risk at jumping forward at some things, you know. And so you take risks, you take jumps, you take leaps of faith, mm, believing. And I said, okay, we're gonna work on this piece right here today. We can't wait. And then we said, every time if you're having problems, get support, get support. And that's when you have a community. That's when you have friends. That's when you have family. And then we talked about Lent as being an opportunity to open the eye to see. Open it, and see what you got one eye. Yeah. And opening the eye wasn't necessarily your physical eye, it was your third eye. And that's what we talked about. We talked about how in our mind, in terms of our makeup, pineal gland inside our heads. And that is the third eye. That is the source of spiritual awareness. It is the source of melanin, what makes our melanin. It is the source of psychic awareness, that intuition where you know what you know and no one can tell you wrong. You feel the universe move. You can feel it all. You can feel what God is saying, how your ancestors are leading you. You can see things that people can't see. You can hear things that normal ears can't hear. That is the third eye. We talked about that. We talked about doing breath work, oxygen, fulfilling all of our organs with everything that it needs. Meditation during breath work. We gave through samples of breath work. We talked about yoga. Opening again, we talked opening your third eye. Being able to see things deeper than the surface. Right? Because if you look at me, you think you see me, but if you open me up, there's so much more going on. And then I wish I had a picture of an iceberg. You know, you see the surface of an iceberg, but on the below of the iceberg, it's so much more of a mass. Y'all get the word mass in you, because I'm gonna start using that as a spiritual reference. The word mass, the weight and the density of something. Woo! Yeah, it's coming to you. It's coming. So y'all gonna see me start using that word even more and more, because we're gonna bring that into something. And then we talked about yoga. We talked about diet again. I said I was doing vegan for like the next 60 to 90 days. I had to take a break yesterday because I made a, I mismanaged my time. Deeply mismanaged my time yesterday. Did I get done what I needed done? Yes, but there was things I wanted to do later that day in the evening that I didn't get to. I mismanaged. So we going to see if we can recuperate and get back to that. We said the use of essential oils or aromatherapy. Crystal meditation, using stones, because they are stones and objects that God placed on this earth that have certain properties. Yes, crystal meditation. We said using crystal meditation. And then we said frequency balancing. That doom home meditation. And I was doing it one night, and it just helped me just sleep, cut all the lights off, sleeping in black, had the meditative healing meditation. And Google everything, because it's all here. I don't make none of this up. It's all something that you could all study. And so we're going to go from that point to our next lesson in this Lenten season: surviving the wilderness. Surviving the wilderness. Now I want to break down, as we get into this, I want to break down the visual where you see the little kid in the wilderness, and she has a little backpack, and she's by herself. She's in the wilderness. The reason why and now all the lessons that we teach on the Alkebulan Inspirational Sunday are not only meant for our youth. It's not only meant for our youth. I have individuals who watch that are adults who says, "Brother, you are breaking it down so simple in words and realities that I can completely understand. And I can understand it with my children. So it challenges my thinking as an adult, but then my kids can get to it. And sometimes I get lofty, and when the spirit hits, I go up. And Yeah, somebody said, sometimes it can be hard for certain kids to grasp. But this is not just a journey. Lent is not a journey, and this is not a discussion just for our youth. But the reason why I put a youthful face in there is because I want us to understand that we are all children of the Creator, children of the Most High. We are all children of God. We're all a child of God. Now, some people may be more mature than others, but you're in the sight of God. You're always a child, and there's always more to learn. And I had that. I told somebody, I was feeling like, man, I'm not doing enough. I'm not producing enough. I'm not manifesting. And I said, there is so much more for me to let loose onto the world in terms of what God is pouring in me, and I have to continue building the infrastructure, the power, and the influence to get that out. And I'm gonna say that because we learned those three words was a source of conversation in the all black everything: power, influence, and infrastructure within me. More power within me, more the infrastructure, mean my understanding in God, and influence, my ability to witness what God has done within me and around me, and creating that. You have to give witness to what God is doing for you, so that you got to give God the glory. You got to. But we're talking about surviving the wilderness. And that's from all ages and all levels. I have a pastor who says he's the pastor of pastors. I'm the preacher's preacher. I don't necessarily preach for the congregation. I also preach for any preacher who needs preaching too. Woo! That was something when I heard him. And when I sat down and I witnessed him, I said, yes, he is definitely the preacher's preacher. Now, how can you become the preacher's preacher? Meaning teaching the teacher, the student that comes to teach the teacher. Wow. We're all children of God, and we all need to be taught. And there's always something for us to learn. We just have to be open to receive. So in that space, we're going to venture down the things of surviving the wilderness. And so when you're walking into this experience of introspection, introspection, and you're reflecting about who you are and whose you are and where you're going and how you're supposed to do it and what you're supposed to do. This is a resemblance of what Jesus, the revolutionary black Messiah, had to go through when he realized that I'm not just here for me, the power that is in me. What am I going to do with it? He had to go into the wilderness. And so, just like the story, during Lent, we go into that wilderness. And one of the things is in the wilderness, and you'll see, sometimes you can go with others, and sometimes you got to go alone, right? So you can go with others, or you can go alone. Either way, the person's coming out cannot be the same person that went in. And so one of the things when you're dealing with surviving the wilderness, before you walk in or as you walk in and as you go, you always have to remember, first point, where you come from, right? Don't know why I'm not there. I need to fix that. But you gotta know where you come from. And it's not necessarily only where you come from biologically or geographically. That's what we're going to say first. You got to learn geographically. It's not where you are in terms of, I come from New York, right? I got connections to the Caribbeans. We got connections to West Africa. We got, this is not about that. It's about where you come from spiritually. That's different when you're dealing with connecting to who you are and whose you are. It's not only understanding your culture as a African or someone of African descent, but where you come from. You got to know when you walk in that wilderness that I come from the awesome power which is God. I come from the darkness of the cosmos. They said because before there was light, God said he existed in the darkness. Just what we talked about last week, that melanin, that God particle. I come from the God particle. So walking into some place where I'm going into a place that I don't know nothing about. But however, I come from the God particle. The God particle exists in me. And I'm connecting to everything that the God particle created. The blackness that is God. Woo. Mm, yes. That is where you're from. That is the spirit of who you are. They said there was nothing but God. And everything out of the darkness of God manifested. God didn't say, I was light, then created light. No, there was nothing but a darkness of God. That dark particle, that mass, that God particle that is in every element. We talk about that. But you got to know that that's where you come from. You got to know that you are a direct manifestation of divine thought. God's hands when you're dealing with the world, surviving the journey to better yourself. Because the hardest part about life is dealing with you, not life. Because life is going to come at you. Now, the only way you can survive life or the troubles or the traumas or the problems that you go through is if you don't know where you come from. That's it. You got to know I'm of God, not of the world. That's when the Bible said you could be in the world and not of it. And I'm always trying to get more and more connected to my understanding of where I'm from. And the more I get there, the more I learn about me, the more I produce in the world. Period. Another thing you have to do, not only know where you come from, because you're going to be tried, you're going to be anything that says, you're trying to improve yourself, well, you're going to be tested on whether or not you're really trying to improve yourself. So there's one thing that you have to hold on to. You got to be able to hold on to your faith. You got to be able to hold on to your faith. Because walking into a place that you know nothing about, the wilderness is great, it's crazy out there. It can be crazy out there. That is the most disorganized organization you'll ever be a part of, is being in a wilderness experience. Meaning that God created it all, and we'll say wilderness, and we'll look at the jungle as the wilderness, right? God created it all. It's all harmony, but it's all nature and natural, and it's just there. And sometimes you're not familiar with how do you connect with the things that you see. I am the tree. I am the leaf. I am the water. I am the soil. I'm connected to it all. But when you come across something that you don't understand, then that's when you take your time to hold on to your faith and learn about it. Learn the deeper parts of you. The most scariest place in the world is to be in a place within inside yourself where you don't know you. Because when you know who you are, you can deal with the things of life around you. The things of life around you don't get harder. It gets easier for you to manipulate yourself through them. Stand on your faith. And that is something that you have to do. You have to be able to do. And when you're holding on your faith, it's like believing within your heart. And that's what that, faith is. You got to know what you know. From the mind of your heart, you got to feel it. You feel me? You got to believe so deep that nothing can distract you, not even you. And sometimes that gets scary, because when you sometimes believe that you're in the wilderness with friends who understand that y'all in the wilderness together, and then something happens and you realize that they don't understand you, they don't get you, they get mad because you have exhausted yourself and you're trying to replenish yourself, and you need more faith, and you need more, you need help, not realizing it's the help I need. One's getting berries, I don't know what the other brother doing. She's smiling, where she's got a glow. She's got the glow on her. We always got to be able to tap into the faith and our hearts and our love and our mindsets. You got to give it up. And then in that space, why? Because it's all about relationships. It's all about believing that God is with you. Your ancestors are with you. And they're going to pull towards you all those who are going to be able to support you. Whoever's going to build for you. Whoever's going to believe in you. Who's going to see the God in you the way you see or seeking to see the God in yourself. Lent ain't no joke. being resurrected to a greater self ain't no joke. This hard work being black in America. It ain't easy. Having somebody see you, because the world is set up for opera conditioning, systematic oppression. Things are hard for black people world round. And you see black people coming up, and it's a fight for us. It's a fight for the sister Mrs. Jones or Mrs. Jackson. It's fight for anything that we do. It's a fight for right now. You're going through, somebody getting smacked on social media. You witnessing on television. Everybody talking. You getting smacked on live television because somebody didn't see the God in you. So they abuse you because they couldn't see the God in themselves. Less of a person. It's all about relationships, and those you got to connect to. You got to lean on. And when it gets harder, when you may think that you by yourself, or things get hard and struggle is deep, you got to always know God is at work. Caution, God's work in progress. That's a sign. Oh, you come this way, know that God is at work. God is doing something. There is always you are here for a reason. Some of us are in certain seasons. When the younger you are, your purpose right now is to find your purpose. But while you're finding your purpose, you're to be a good brother, good sister, good cousin. You know what I'm saying? You a good friend, a good student, good helper, whatever it is. And as you age, the older you get, if your understanding ain't getting deeper, then you know that you still God is at work. That means there's still gifts and talents is in you. We have individuals. As a brother, I got a call today, and I promised I was gonna give him a call. Right? Promise his mom. He's in that struggle where he's trying to see what God has for me. Who am I in the Creator? And he's making all the wrong decisions. And in that's still a blessing, because in your failures, you find your lessons. And we got to get to that point where we know that even in our struggles, God is working on something. I can get through this, because when I get through this, there's going to be an understanding about life that I know even more. Because God is working on me. And so in that process of knowing that God is working, there's going to be a lot of things you have to submit and surrender to the Creator. I remember when I first started, I started getting on this journey. Wow, I can't remember how old my daughter was. Um, and I remember the conversation I had with a friend on social media, and she sent a text to me, and she said, "Brother, you need to embrace the concept of surrendering." And for years, that's all I focused on was surrender, submitting certain things to the Creator. And now I'm in a place where most people just don't understand me. Right? You just don't get it. And then the level of surrender, I do it on a man. If you got, my father told me, you got 24 hours. How many 20 of those 24 hours did you give to the Creator? What did you do with your 24 hours? Did you BS your 24 hours, or did you build with your 24 hours? And then when you build something, you're going to be able to see through the course of your sasa. As your sasa continues, which is your current nows, you're going to see what God creates in your life, and the people you draw to you, and those relationships and those interactions. You got to submit a whole lot. You got to surrender tons of. And so we're going to go through the things that when God is at work, and you know that you're in the process of resurrecting, and we use Easter as a form of resurrection, but resurrection can happen any day. It can happen at any time. It can happen at any moment. It doesn't have to be during this particular season. For me, it's a year-round thing, a 24-hour purpose scenario. I'm being resurrected on a constant basis, resurrecting myself to myself. I got even resurrected more putting this together. I most of the time minister for me, because God is at work within me to get me to become what He's called me to be. But you have to learn how to submit a lot of things, and the first thing you got to learn how to do is submit your heart. Fall in love with your journey. Fall in love with the when you're in the wilderness. Wait, let me see. Ooh, it just hit. Look at the girl's face and the smile. You gotta fall in love with everything that is natural about you. Everything that is flawed about you. Everything that is you look at the world, the harmony of the world. You got to fall in love with all of life. Water. Sometimes we don't like drinking water because it don't taste good. But when you look at water as being that it holds more percentages in your body, of 85% of your body is water. We can't live without water. So how do you not fall in love with the essence of life that keeps you flowing? Yes, water can detoxify you. It can purify your body. It cleanses your skin. What? Water exists. It can clean your nasal passages if you boil it and it turns into steam and you inhale it. They talk about you put essential oils inside of water and breathe those essential oils inside your nostrils when you first feel like you're getting sick. Water and essential oils will kill COVID. I'm saying it right now. Doctors have said water and essential oils will kill COVID. People get that when they get the sinus infections and inflammation. You can absorb the healing properties of herbs through the evaporation of water. You got to fall in love with the nature of God in all things. You got to submit your heart and fall in love with everything divine around you, because everything around you is divine. People may not act from their divinity, but everything around you is of God. And you got to surrender your heart to the workings of the Creator. You got to surrender your heart to the workings of your ancestors. You have to love your wilderness journey. You got to do it. You got to connect with the people, and you got to walk with the people, and interact with the people, and look at how photosynthesis. Y'all look that up. Photosynthesis. That's one of my favorite processes, to show the harmony that God has with the world. How rain comes down, it's absorbed by trees, and then the other stuff, the water that is in the ground that is not absorbed by the roots of the trees, turns into smoke, and it turns into vapor, and it goes back up, and it comes back around. So water does not really disappear. It's always recycled in the process of life. Understand nature. Fall in love with this journey of being a spiritual being in a physical existence. Fall in love with it. The process of it takes is circle. Fall in love with it. Then the next thing, you have to submit. In surviving the wilderness, you got to submit your ego. You got to let you being the center of your own world go. Now, it's funny because when you give God your life and you surrender it to the liberation of black people, and you have responsibilities, people may think, well, why has it got to be your way? It's not my way. People think, so why is it's not my way. I'm surrendering to what God has called me to do. Nothing I'm doing is out of ego. And that's what people don't get. I got you too tied to it, trying to tell you what to do. Do. When you want to get tired of somebody do. I don't like being voluntold. I like being spirit led. That's different. That's different. When God calls you, you can't have no greater purpose than doing what God has called you to do. And so I always say, I'm just doing what God calls me to do. How do you figure that out? I mean, I continue to surrender everything. We're going to get to that part, right? But you got to let your ego go so you can go, right? Ooh, I think I had this word set up. Let me see if I have this word here. Yep, I do. When you let go your ego, you get more confidence. Let me see if I could put that. Oh, we can't do that there. We're going to do that. Boom. I'll put it here, right? I don't mind it being over my face. Submit your ego to access your confidence. When you lessen your ego, some say you get more confidence in yourself when the ego is not involved, because in your ego, you can be swayed. Somebody better than you at something, you can be swayed if you function from your ego and your ego get hurt. But when you have no ego in it, you're walking into the realm of the creator, in the realm of God. When you are submerge yourself and say, I'm doing what God has called me to do. And sometimes you do it. Jesus was like, I don't want to die on no cross. He said it. God, why you forsaking me? Man, please, I ain't forsake you. This is what you're supposed to do. What you expect? You gonna fight for me and not get persecuted? Yeah, anytime you fighting for God, you're getting persecuted by your friends, your family, your cousins, your aunts, your mamas. Anytime you're trying to always do right. People always going, there's always somebody there to get you to do wrong. But when you let go of your ego and you go in God, you can access an experience where no one can shake you, no one can move you, no one can detour you. Sometimes that's hard because there's always somebody trying to, well, do this. And that's the wilderness. The minute that somebody's asking you to do something you know is wrong, and you know, it's about you. You can have fun. You can do whatever you want. It's your ego. My ego tells me I want to do this. Not the fact that God is asking me to do something else. No, God didn't call me. No, I'm doing this based off my ego. This is all self-satisfaction. It's all self-pleasure. No, some things that you don't like to do. Release your ego, walk in God, and get that confidence. There will be a certain way that you feel about yourself. When you experience a state of confidence, there's a certain way that you will feel about yourself when you experience a confidence. You push that E away, go in God, and there will be a moment where no one can detour you from what you're called to do, produce, or be. Nobody. Not even you when you want to. Man, sometimes when people ask me to do something for them, and I tell them straight up, no. One love, Karima, we're going to talk about this. Karima, who it used to be our virtual village person, right? She's no longer is Ikechi now, right? And so when Karima would call on me and I was not feeling the project, I'm like, yeah, I ain't feeling that, and I'm not doing it. Why? Because I don't feel nothing connected to it. I said no, and I could say it, and it wasn't even. I'm waiting for what God has called me to do, and I don't feel a spiritual connection to it. Sorry, I can't do it, sister. Why? Because, yeah, I'm not inspired, and unless I'm inspired. And I will go somewhere and literally lay down, sleep, shower, meditate, pray, work on another project, and all of a sudden get hit in the head where that E drops off. And I see the vision of what she needed me to create. And I feel like it was divine. It is my divine responsibility to produce. It doesn't happen all the time. It happens in rare scenarios where I'm not being told by somebody to produce something. I'm being called to produce something. Wow. That's in your confidence. And regardless, whatever it is, when it's done, you know that God put it in you to create it, and can't nobody shake you from it. Confidence. I know what I'm called to create. I know when my ego takes place, and I know when I surrender it. And I'm able to produce something in God because it's what I'm called to do. That's different. And that's what we ask everybody during this wilderness experience to try to experience. Try to experience that moment that you know God is all asking you to be the best student, the best engineer, or the best doctor, or the best brother, sister, uncle, cousin, the best helper, whatever it is. Submit your ego and see what God has asked you to do. Another thing that you have to submit in this process of being in the wilderness journey, you got to submit your mind, your thoughts. And now, that's different than everything else. We got the mind of the heart, but we talked about giving your heart, falling in love, and connecting here where your passion is. But then you got to get your thoughts clear too. And that's also in your third eye. You gotta access. Your mind is deeper than just your thoughts. Your mind is your vibrations of being. Woo. Your mind is your vibrations of being. Here. It's your third eye, right in the middle. You can do tapping, something called tapping, when you're breathing and you tap it to wake it up. But you got to submit your mind to the Creator, your thoughts. What governs how you think? What governs what you think? And so we've done this before. What type of mind do you go into the wilderness with? Mm. When you submit your mind to God, you got to give God a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. You can't go in the wilderness thinking you know everything, because you don't. You don't know you, and you don't know the most powerful you. Even if you're a good person and you're doing good things, you still got to live life with a growth mindset. You can try different strategies. You could find things to inspire you. Are you really giving your best? Question yourself to reach something higher. You got to do it. This may take some time. It helps you to develop patience within yourself. Because the world doesn't change at your pace. The world doesn't come at your pace. The world comes the way the world comes. You got to be open to be able to maneuver. When growing up, when I was it's rather than six mindset, because I can't, I won't, it's not enough, it's too hard, negative. Woo, stop it. We said we're finding a stronger I am. I am capable of all things in God. Woo. Yes, an opened mindset. So you got to surrender that mind to God, because God can't do nothing with the redhead. But man, you give a God a mindset of go, there is nothing you will not be able to accomplish. It is a vibration of your being. The last thing in surviving a wilderness that you have to submit is your spirit. You got to surrender all of your energy to the Creator. All I have is yours. Wait, I had a thing that I wanted to add. Okay, I couldn't add it, but we're going to show it. All I have is yours. Now, I'm going to explain this best through the statement of sports. And, when we live, we always talk about sports. And in sporting environment or arena or discipline, there's a term, leave it all here. Let me see if I could do this. Leave it all on the field. Leave it all here. If you're playing baseball and life was a baseball game and you're walking up to the plate, you got the ball and the bat, you've got the bat in your hand, and you see the world coming at you. Wow. You see all your accomplishments coming at you, and you about to want to knock it out the park. Now, it depends on how you swing in life. It depends on what you give to it, that energy, whether or not it's going to be a base hit, or you're going to swing too early, too fast, your timing is off, it's going to be a strike. Or you might want to bunt, so it comes in fast, but you up and it bounces out slow, so that you could just get to the first base to where you going. You can make a decision to knock it to the wall and get a double. You on second base, it got you to second base. You can get a triple. But as you play this game of life, and every time you go to the plate, you got to give everything you got according to your plan. Everything you got according to your plan. Because if you understanding as you understand you, and you seek to learn understanding you, you got to never go to sleep at night feeling like there's something left. And wow, I just hit why I can't sleep. I can't sleep. Because sometimes at night when I give all I got, I question myself, did I leave it all on the field? And I don't know if I did or didn't. And I sit trying to figure it out. That's what you can't do. Did I give it all? And all I can say is, God, I hope I gave you everything at the end of my day. I wait until I pass out, because I'm not sure I gave it all. It's like when you leave a game and you like, nah, there's more to play. I ain't done. I'm not done with this day. What else can I do? And so that's the part that I know I'm working on. You, I don't know if y'all could tell, y'all just got me emotional. Cause I just realized at the end of my day, I don't know if I left it all. I did a whole lot, but God, was it enough? And if I have to question that, then it wasn't. And so that's where my organization structure has to kick in, where I give even more. People say, you do a whole lot. Yeah, but according to what's inside me, I know I don't give enough. Hmm. And that's why that song, This Is My Exodus, hits me the way it hits me. Because I'm always trying to rid myself from what the world created, to getting to the point where all I have, all I am, belongs to God. Because I'm seeking a deeper sense of that Godfidence. That's my word. I made it up. People, you see somebody use that, they stole it from me. Real talk. I was preaching, talking to Alkebulan, and I was trying to get them to understand something in terms of, yeah, your ego and confidence is one thing. But when you got Godfidence, that's that God swag. You can't let that go. That's why I hold on to the word, I am the African. When the African speaks, that's the God in me coming out. But there's always, and I got to accept this, going to be more I can give until I can't give no more. So as we seek to survive the wilderness, so that we are resurrected, go through those points that we gave, go through those moments in life where you are checking who you are and whose you are and where you're from. And you're finding a deeper sense of self. And you're surrendering all of it. That's my prayer for you. That you're able to surrender everything you can, everything you got, to experiencing your greatest self in God. That's what Alkebulan seeks to be, do, and produce, planting a better seed to get a better harvest, so that we all can witness the rise of the African within us. With that, I say one love.